Well, hello folks, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. So I recently made a video on Target's Hydro series saying about the price of tungsten and the price of darts in generally going up for one reason or another. So I thought today we'll take it right back to basics, because with the Hydros it was a case of what if you wanted, a good brand with 90% tungsten and all that goes with that. But what if perhaps you still can't afford that, but times are hard these days, or maybe you've just got some friends coming round and you just want a casual darts night and have a few darts for them to have to themselves, or maybe you've got children and you might want to have 2 or 3 different sets of darts for them to play with. So I thought, well, let's take a look at these, and these were actually on sale on double top darts. I think they cost me about £4.80 or something crazy, about £1.60 a dart I think, and they are brass, so not tungsten. Now obviously with brass you're going to get a larger barrel because brass isn't as dense as tungsten, so they're going to be pretty hefty I think, and they are only 18 grams I notice. So they've kept the cost down by obviously reducing the amount of metal in there, but also an 18 gram brass dart isn't going to be overly large, so we can still hopefully use it. So I thought what we do is just take a real quick look today, throw a few, see how we get on, and I am going to use them exactly as they come in the box, and we'll take it from there. I haven't opened them yet. It does say this is a set of professional darts and not a toy, so I'm far from a professional player. I'm barely an amateur one, so I'm not sure where I fall in that, but I will play with them nonetheless. So okay, let's open them up. Now all I've done is crack to the bottom of the box here, because like so many of the darts packages, they've got these locking tabs, and I had to carefully do that because I didn't want to damage the box. Ultimately I do want to keep these when I'm finished with them. So this is genuinely the first time I've had them out, and so there you go. So the box itself is Harrows, by the way. I should have mentioned that right at the beginning. An excellent long-standing brand for darts, so reliability with quality there, I'm quite sure. And that was one of the reasons I picked these up, because although they were cheap, they were still a good brand and you weren't buying sort of rubbish, So here you can see there's a case, and we'll just close that down now. There we go. So I don't know if you can read that. It says Harrows Darts Technology and made in England, and not many things seem to be these days, so that's pretty cool. All I've got to try and do is pop it open again now. Okay, so inside you've got a lovely mirrored finish to the back. Looks super posh, and no spare sort of different length stems or anything like that in here. We've got 3 barrels, obviously your 3 stems, and presumably the flights are just all tucked away in there. So we're going to pop these open real quick. Just gently peel them away from their retainers, and there they are. So you can see just a simple knurled pattern on there, not massively grippy, and a little bit of change in the pattern through there, but very simple traditional brass darts there. And they are steel pointed, and they've just got your plain steel blackened point just there. Sharp but not too sharp. Obviously not a Swiss point or quick point or anything like that, being, well, Harrows obviously have their own setups anyway, but there we go. At this price point you wouldn't be looking to change the points anyway. So what have we got here? There we go. Just one thing to watch out for, one of these flights is actually threaded through the packaging, so I'll come back to that momentarily. I was hoping I didn't have to damage the packaging to get them out, but we'll see. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and set these up anyway, and we'll give them a throw, I think. Now I haven't got my reading glasses on, but we'll see if we can thread the flight. There we go. Okay, so there's your flight in there, all matching nicely, the orange and black. There you go. So overall, nice little dart. Looks pretty cool, really, to be fair. You can tell it's obviously very light. I might get it on the scales in a minute and see, but yeah, it does feel fairly well balanced, I've got to say. There's a tiny bit of a taper to the back and a tapered nose on it as well. So that, coupled with the various sort of knurlings on there, should give us a modicum of grip. So we'll have to have a look, and I'll report back when we've thrown a few. But I suspect, depending on your throw, because it is so light, you might have to work with the timing a little bit, or where we're holding the dart. So it'd be quite interesting just to see if we can even hit the board with these. Anyway, there we go then. For like, well, for less than a fiver anyway, get ourselves 3 darts with a nice hard plastic case to take round to your friends for a games night, or down the local rubber dub. Yeah, good stuff. Right, okay, let's get some of these into the board, see how they fly. Oh, again. So there you have it, guys, a quick throw of the Harrows Club Brass darts in at 18 grams. And overall, really good darts, excellent darts for the money, to be honest. As I said earlier, I paid £4.80 for these. Yes, they were on sale. I think they are normally nearer £7-ish, I think. I didn't pay for postage because, as it happened, I bought a few other things the same day and it qualified for free postage. So all in all, though, you are only talking about £5-ish for these darts. I mean, just great. You could tell from the footage just now that they throw in a nice straight line, and the grouping's really good with them as well. So they're repeatable in that respect, quite reliable and consistent. The only thing that let them down was my throw, but don't let that put you off. These darts actually were really nice, actually. Really well balanced overall. Because there's not much to them, it's not like with a really heavier dart. You can tell if there's an obvious front or rear weight to them. But because of these that are lighter overall, they generally have a very neutral feel to them. And I'd say the same for the grip as well, actually. You've got that real old school kind of knurling just there, if it will pick it up on focus. So it looks more like a jack socket from a guitar or something like that, actually. A very traditional kind of knurled finish. So it's not very grippy, but it's kind of grippy enough. Somewhere between light to medium, I would say. And I threw them, as I said at the beginning, with no amendments or adjustments at all. So these are the stems that came with them. They're the flights that came with them. And yeah, brilliant. So you can't change the points, but I didn't need to anyways. I just don't think what else to say, really. I think if you've got some friends coming round for, you know, a bit of a games night or a party night or whatever, or maybe you've got some adolescents that are looking to get into darts, or maybe it's your first foray into darts yourself and you're looking for, you know, quite literally one of the cheapest available sets, then you couldn't go far wrong with these Harrows Club Brass darts. I mean, you could always change the flights if you had more than one set around the house, because the flights ultimately are probably the cheapest part of the whole setup anyway. So you could just, you know, get a couple of sets of these and maybe invest in £1 or £2's worth of different flights, just to make them obvious as to, you know, who's, stop any fights around the house or anything like that. And as I said, they come with a little plastic case as well, so you could take them around to your friends and give them a game. But yeah, there we go. Not much else I can say, really. They're great value for money. The only single issue I had, if you can call it an issue, is because they're so light, I found I had to give them a little bit extra oomph to kind of get them where I wanted to go. I generally go with a slightly heavier dart and would arc them a little bit more, whereas because these are so light, I kind of had to encourage them, shall we say, give them a bit more of a whip, or a bit more of a throw, which took a little bit of getting used to, just because Obviously it's slightly different to how I normally throw them, but again, that's just, you know, that's a personal thing as to how you throw the dart. But once I got over that and got used to it, actually these were surprisingly easy to use. And yeah, I'm kind of waffling on a bit now because I can't think of anything else to say for a very simple, cheap set of darts other than they were fun to use, very easy to set up. Would I recommend them? Absolutely. Again, like all of the products on our channel, we are reviewing things from our own collection, our own investment, as it were. We're not sponsored by anyone. These aren't provided for free. We did pay for them with our own money, Rachel and I. So yeah, overall though, fantastic darts for the money. So I'd highly recommend them if you are strapped for cash or looking for a spare set or two for around the house for your friends or what have you. So yeah, there we go. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Do check out some of our other videos as well. We've got plenty more coming up too, so do subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks very much for watching. You guys stay safe and we'll be back soon. All the best for now. Bye bye.